Hey everybody, doing my review here on the Brooks Cascadia 8 shoe. I just used them this past weekend on a trip through the Smoky Mountains, mostly on the AT, for about, we did about 40 miles, covered about 40 miles with a lot of ups and downs. This is the first time I've used a shoe like this, like a trail running shoe. My pack now is down to about 17 pounds without water and food, so I figured it was a good time to transition to a trail running shoe. I'm just going to go over kind of what I liked and what I am slightly concerned about regarding this shoe. There are definitely a lot more likes than concerns, but just to give you an idea, this is my new shoe. It weighs, I did do a weight check on it per shoe. It registered in at 0.9 ounces, or 0.9 pounds, sorry. I also weighed in my previous shoe, which I've only had for about a year and have used in extreme conditions. I used this shoe made by Keen in about 1.5 feet of snow with -2-degree weather, without wind chill, and it was awesome. It really was. It's got the Keen Dry system here. My foot in this shoe, when I hiked in snow, like I said, with gaiters, of course, was about. I mean, I definitely, my foot did not get wet. I mean, it was pretty awesome. My only concern with this shoe was the tongue. It doesn't. The laces don't connect at all, as you can see here. So the tongue tends to do, as you can just see from the way it naturally sits, it tends to go to the side. These are the Keen Ericksons. They are great shoes, but at 1.9 pounds, being under 20 pounds, and about 22.7 with 3 liters of water and 3 days worth of food, that's what my pack was at. This shoe is just a much better choice in my opinion. And like I said, I really did enjoy this shoe. Now my only concern, so 38 miles in these shoes, my only issues that I experienced on the entire trip was with, on this shoe, on this side, right at the arch there, I did get a blister, a small blister right up there, after 8.1 miles. So that would have been the first night. It actually came up the next day. I noticed it early in the morning. It did not bother me at all. The only thing that I did was I changed from just a small thin wool sock. I then doubled my sock, so I did a wool sock plus a like an REI Expedition, pretty thick sock, winter sock. So I double socked it. Totally worked. Didn't have any issues for the remaining 29 miles in these shoes. They really worked great. Some of the things that I really loved about running, or from hiking in a trail running shoe, was, and I'm sure people that are used to these shoes, more minimalist type shoes, prefer to the hiking boots. I really noticed that I twist my ankle just slightly in these kind of boots, multiple times in about an 8-mile hike. And these shoes, I didn't really truly experience like a twisted ankle, where you reach and you're caught off guard, until about close to the end of the trip. So I essentially went about 35 miles without experiencing that. And I was hiking with some guys that are really into minimalist gear, and like these were heavy compared to what they were using. But for me, this was ultra minimalist, and I mean it was pretty impressive. I was surprised. I typically have some pains on the outside of my knee from hiking in these boots. In these shoes, I had no pain. But like I said, I only was hiking 17 pounds base weight, 22 pounds with water, a little bit like 22.7 with water and food. So unbelievable shoe. I really do like them. I think I'm probably going to use this exact brand for my my AT Thru hike. As you can see, they have some insole here. What I like to look for in a shoe is kind of when you take the basic insole out, if it on the inside there you'll see stitching where the bottom part of the insole here has actually been stitched into the shoe. You'll notice in a lot of shoes that doesn't even exist. In my opinion, from what I've seen, the ones that have the stitching on the inside, they seem to be a little bit more firm. You'll start to notice that if you just take out the insole and look, you'll notice that. Usually the shoes that are a little bit cheaper, they don't have that. I don't know. I've been told that is beneficial and something to look at, and I started to look at it and I've noticed it quite a bit. My only other concern with this shoe lies right here. The toe box is, it's substantially softer. Clearly you can look at just a typical hiking boot, and come on, like Keen does a really great job with the toe box. It extends, the rubber actually extends up and over, so it's really solid. These trail running shoes are pretty weak, even compared to other trail running shoes. I also have a pair of Salomon Speedcross 3s, which I have not hiked in, and I was thinking about using those shoes, but just the flexibility in these compared to the Speedcross 3s, I had a fear that I might experience more issues due to the stiffness of the other shoes, and I really wanted something that was more flexible. So it's a trade-off. I definitely find myself hitting a lot of rocks, especially on the AT. There's boulders, and I was just in the Smokies, but I'm sure it gets even rockier than that. But yeah, besides that weak toe box, there really wasn't much else. It's got a pretty stiff back, but it's not as stiff as Speedcross 3s, which I think is good. I'm not running in these shoes, so I don't need that extreme stiffness. And I do like the lace system better on the Salomons than this. This is a little annoying, these extended laces, but that's how most shoes are, so I will definitely get used to that. Trying to think of anything else. I've been told that the outside material is really good. They're obviously not waterproof shoes, but I did experience some mud and definitely a lot of wet terrain. Granted, I did not hike in any type of rain, which is rare for the Smokies, for 3 days, but it was perfectly clear, just damp ground where we were hiking, and these did really well. I tried to hit some of the mud. You can tell this is one trip, but they do have some wear on them, so definitely had dry feet the whole time, but I'm really expecting to have wet feet in these, but hopefully they'll dry fast. They do look like they're very well ventilated, so like I said, my feet didn't sweat really in these over this trip. It was about 74 degrees outside in August. Well, I guess it's late July, so not too bad. But yeah, I definitely recommend these shoes. These are the Cascadia, Brooks Cascadia 8s. So they're the newest version of these shoes, and really great. I do give props to REI, Cullen at REI. He actually recommended these to me, and I've done a lot of research on shoes, much more than just going into REI and asking someone what they recommended. But he has through hiked the trail in these shoes. He started off in a pair of hiking boots and switched over at NOC to these shoes and went through 4 pairs. So for you through hikers out there, he said that you're going to get about 500 miles out of these shoes before you have to switch. You can see the tread is not, it's not extremely aggressive. It kind of looks like a normal all-terrain tennis shoe, but from what I could tell, it gripped really well. My only complaints with the grip was on kind of wet logs. I definitely noticed that it had no grip, but how many shoes have grip? These shoes did really well, on all surfaces, so there is a difference in that. But for everything else, it was wet, rocks and everything, it did really well. So I would definitely give it probably an 8 out of 10, and that's just because my only concerns being the toe box, slight grip issues. You're going to find more aggressive patterns on some other trail running shoes, but these still work great. And like I said, they did grip really well on rocks, but I was definitely a lot more cautious in these shoes than I would be in something like that. Obviously, if you roll your ankle in this, I mean, you got some serious support, so it's not that big of a deal. And Keen it's hard to beat Keen as far as just simply their grip. In my opinion, I love those shoes. They do a really good job. But like I said, these are going to be the shoes I'm going to be going in. Most likely in the AT. I'm going to test out a couple other ones. But these Brooks Cascadia 8s are great. So for any of you guys out there or gals that are looking for a great trail running shoe that's lightweight, 0.9 ounces, great tread for the most part, and man, I'll tell you what, zero adjustment in these shoes. I never wore them. They were brand spanking new and did 40 miles in them. Had a slight, like I said, slight blister right there at the arch. Nothing else. I mean, I think that blister could have been avoided if I had just possibly had 2 thin layer socks. But I don't know if I said this earlier. They do run small, so I typically wear 11 and a halves. I did do 12s in these, and they work great. So if you want to try these shoes out, definitely order a half size bigger, maybe even a full size bigger if you're back and forth on which one you should do. But half size worked for me. Love these shoes. Definitely a must buy in my opinion. So thanks everybody for watching, and I'm going to be doing some more reviews on my other gear. It's my old backpack in the background, Atmos 50. I'm going to be updating that. So just look out for my videos. Brooks Cascadia 8, great shoe for through hiking, great shoe for just ultralight hiking and hiking in general. So check it out. Thanks.